Thank you very much. I appreciate Representative Wendell and his prayers and all of my former colleagues in the House, served in the House for 28 years. God blessed me to serve in Memphis District 90 for 28 years, and all of these men and women, the majority of them that have served with me, I appreciate their prayers and their commitment to the state of Tennessee. I was removed from the ballot a couple of years ago after I had qualified, and I was removed from the ballot so that I could not run for that office. But Governor Lee called me, and I work for Governor Lee, and I'm here to represent him on this evening. And I would like for you, if you would, he is a faithful man. He's a good man. He's a man that begins our deliberations with what is right, what's the right thing to do. And he and I pray together from time to time. So I would like for you to give him a hand. He would love to be here, but he is so busy at this particular time as we're trying to get the legislative package, and we have the good men and women who are standing here who are going to get it done. But would you give him a hand for me? We have an opponent. Peter said that we should be sober. We should be vigilant, because our adversary, and he called him by name, the devil, is a roaring lion walking about seeking whom he may devour. And when we look around where we sit today, you sit in the seat of power. And Paul said, we don't wrestle. We're not fighting men and women. Too often time we put a face and a personality on the enemy, because that's what the devil wants us to do. He wants us to fight each other. But Paul said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. In essence, what Paul is saying is those who can make laws that can slaughter and pull from what ought to be the safest place in the world, this mother's womb, pull a child and discard him as garbage. He says that's the enemy. And each and every one of us who sit here today have got to make up our minds. We can live our flaws, our faults, our failures, but we need to live our faith. Paul said we walk by faith and not by sight. In essence, not what the devil is showing us and telling us that we should be afraid. We should round our shoulders, tuck our tail, and go to the corner and be quiet. Sit on the seat or do nothing, lean back on the elbows or do less and say, wake me up when the fight is over. Yep. But it's time for Christians, Christian people, to understand, as this wonderful thing says, when you destroy the church, you destroy the home. When you destroy the family, when you destroy our schools, we have removed the foundation that made this country great in the first place. And every one of us have better take an introspective examination of ourselves at this particular time in our history. Because what one generation tolerates, the next generation embraces. And that's what we see happening around us right now. Solomon said very clearly, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Let each and every one of us find within ourselves the strength, and the fortitude. Pray for these men and women who stand and fight against this wicked, ridiculous laws that are sweeping across our country, that have compromised the very foundation of who we are. Let's pray together. You must be heard. You must be heard.
Just a quick moment to say that this man means what he just told you. I'll not go into all the details. It's not about parties tonight. But this man's pro-life, and for that reason, and maybe a couple of others, his party said, we don't want you on our ballot. And instead of compromising like many Republicans and Democrats do these days, he stood for what he believed. And he said, I'm going to be pro-life. We appreciate that, sir. We're glad that our governor gave you a position, because we need men like you in our state. Let's give him another hand.